Hello, hello, and we say good day to each and every single one of you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council. We are an interdimensional extraterrestrial consciousness that's connected to your world. We've been on your planet before, many thousands and thousands of years ago. We are in contact with some of you already. Some of you may have seen us in your visions and your interdimensional experiences. Some of you have felt us knocking on the door but haven't quite answered. And so today we invite you to pay attention because we can meet you both as subtle energies within your energy field, within your body, as well as in messages, visions. Your imagination is the portal to other realms. It is not simply a tool that makes things up and creates beauty and art. It is actually a magnifying glass that allows you to see what has always existed simply beyond the confines of your physical reality. We come here as messengers to support your planet in this process of ascension. That is at least what you term it. We simply see it as evolution, as your planet is moving it through shifts that we as a species and many other species in this galaxy have also gone through, and hence as beings who have already experienced what it takes to move from one level of consciousness to another, we can advise you. Though we do not wish to direct you, we wish only for your own hearts to guide you. The core of our message is this: that you must follow your own passion to the best of your own ability without insisting on an outcome. And this will lead your energy to raise to higher frequencies, and you will be able to engage in higher frequency emotional states and attract to you the kinds of experiences you seek. This will solve so many of your other questions, and it will help you tap into your own higher mind, your higher consciousness. It is actually central. Central as in the center of your being, in your heart. That is your higher consciousness. And while your head seems to be above your heart is intrinsically more connected to the one source. And that feeling of love that you experience through whatever lights you up individually is the core frequency of this universe, speaking through you, reminding you that you are one with all that appears outside of you. Now, as we share this message, we also want to thank you for allowing us to enter this space and meet you in your world, for it gives us as well the experience of expanding through the reflections you offer us. All right. So, you've experienced a mild disturbance today, and that's the theme we would like to talk so much about. In your world, you have this concept of an inner child. And we want to remind you it is not literal that a former self lives inside of you. It is a metaphor for the way that what you learn as a child comes to imprison you. And it is these beliefs that keep so many of you inhibited. Children naturally understand this formula. The formula is: act on your own passion to the best of your ability without insisting on a particular outcome. And what we mean by this is that in the very now moment, you look at all of the possibilities before you and you see them as pathways, action steps that you are taking, leading you down a pathway. And out of all of them, which one makes your heart feel a higher frequency energy? Which one makes you feel love? When you imagine walking down that path, which one helps you to feel energetically charged and enthusiastic? If you make that choice and you do the best you can to follow the path without insisting that you get to a particular destination and allow the journey to carry you, you will experience the most rapid spiritual evolution that you could possibly experience. So yes, actually following this formula is your natural state. Children don't do things they don't want to do, ever. And In your world, you have to learn what is appropriate and what isn't appropriate. As a child, you are conditioned to be a part of a world that is so often bringing you to act against what actually brings you happiness and joy. You've lived through times of great suppression of your natural heart-based instincts. And this is something that is now shifting. You're moving past a dark age into an age where you will be guided by the heart. Though in order to do that, you have to acknowledge the belief systems and thought forms alive within you that hold you back from letting your heart guide you. You may have learned that life is tough. You may have learned that you don't deserve. You may have learned that only people who behave a certain way and fit certain criteria of being acceptable and admirable in society have the right to certain things and certain experiences. You may have learned that your creativity isn't good enough unless you are absolutely top-notch. You may have learned that no one wants to hear what you have to say. All of you have different programs running in your consciousness. And in order to truly follow this formula, you have to assess what is holding me back from authentically living my own heart's expression. What story am I telling myself about what I have to do and who I'm supposed to be that's incongruent with what my heart is naturally guiding me to do? If you can discover these beliefs, one powerful thing that you can do is literally look to the exact opposite. So if your belief is, I am unworthy, then focus on the thought, I am worthy, and look for evidence that you are worthy. For certainly you have friends, acquaintances, manifestations, objects in your life. And if you were not worthy, you wouldn't have anything. Look to the evidence that suggests the exact opposite of what these negative thought forms continue to repeat in your mind. You'll notice that you've learned to control everything that's happening within you and outside of you. And you have control over only so much. You have the most control over the actions you take and the choices you make. And the rest is ultimately up to the universe around you. However, you have more influence than that. And here's where we distinguish between influence and control. When your frequency is truly non-attached, your influence becomes more powerful. This last part of the formula, release all insistence on a particular outcome, means that you open yourself to exactly what is unfolding instead of grasping onto, clinging to your mentally projected idea of what was supposed to happen. When you do this, your energy releases, relaxes, and returns to a higher frequency state. And then the things that you don't have control of, but have an influence with your own energy, will be more likely to come into your field and come into your experience. As you learn how to trust, surrender, and make your own heart's magnetic, attractive choice your priority, you will begin to deconstruct the beliefs that keep you acting in robotic ways and fear-based ways and attempting to take control of the things that you actually cannot control. Surrender is not a complete letting go of control. Surrender is the release of all control that you don't actually have. And when you are truly surrendered, you will be empowered to see the things that you are in control of and grip them tighter. And everything that you're not supposed to have a grip on, you will let go, so that you have the space to hold close to you what is actually important. And those things that are not important, you'll let go of. Think back to your childhood. You had this understanding before. All of the details of how much money and when does it happen and what is the weather going to be like tomorrow is not something you thought about at all. You played, you created, you sung, you danced, you did whatever you wanted to do without thinking of how other people saw you. And you will not return to being a child, but you can return to that state of surrender and innocence where you truly remember that who you are at a core is love and power, and any other definition of self is a false constructed negative belief that you can give back to the powers that shouldn't be. All right. So, we thank you for allowing us to share this opening message with you. And in return, we would like to ask, in what ways can we support you by being a mere reflection to your questions, your musings, your sharings, your whatever you'd like to bring? You may begin whenever you'd like. Does anybody have anything they would like to say or ask? All right, we can talk about something else if you want, but we would love to hear from you.
What do you have to say about love and relationships?
Relationships help you deepen into love. Relationships are a vital need for you to be able to know yourself through the mirror reflection of the other and create a sense of community. Though what specifically would you like to know?
Can I create a happy relationship with others if I don't have one with myself?
You can, actually, yes. Though you have to be able to transparently bring your awareness of your own negative beliefs into the conversation so that you're aware and the other is aware of what is causing friction between you and the other in all of your relationships. When you say you are not having a healthy relationship with yourself, all we hear or all we interpret that to mean is that you have negative beliefs about yourself that cause you to judge yourself or feel a sense of shame or negativity towards yourself. And the only way to clear those things is to be able to acknowledge them and bring presence to them, speak about them, write about them, share about them. Make it normal that you can have an open sharing of what's there. For nothing can heal without your conscious awareness and without your recognition. And if you consciously bring awareness into what isn't working in your mind, before you attempt to create a connection or start a project or initiate something you're passionate about, you'll have a better chance of it flowing smoothly. just as the animals around create slight conflict, some of you fall into instinctual ways of reacting. This happens when something triggers a fear within you. This fear comes from a belief that you learned about what it means to be safe and protected. So, this is why it is important to go over the experiences you've had in your life and recognize the way that you hold your energy as a result of them. You might be braced to face the pain you've already faced again, though look at it deeper. Those experiences were actually lessons designed so that you could prevent experiences of a similar nature from happening, and also be a teacher of what that kind of experience is so that others don't have to face it as well.
How do you describe following your heart again?
It's in the moment. So it begins with the small steps, because the small steps lead to the mountaintops. When you have what you call free time, when you don't have a prior engagement or obligation, and you are choosing what to do, take a moment to sit and breathe and think about everything you could do. Imagine all of those possible actions as pathways before you. Energetically connect with each one of them and feel within your heart which one generates the greatest expansive energy. It will feel like a tingling, a warmth, and something that is pulling you in a direction forward. Choose out of all of them the one that is the highest frequency as a felt emotional state within you, and continue to make that choice again and again despite obstacles that arise. This will help you to direct yourself onto the path of even bigger excitements. So say, if you want to be a yoga teacher, but you don't choose to wake up and go to yoga class, you will never get to the end result. So it has to be something that happens literally in the present. The small things that you do become habits, become routines that are easier to follow again and again. You can make it a discipline to honor your own heart. And you will eventually get to a place in which you can feel where your heart is pulling you, and you can feel what your negative beliefs in your mind are distorting and encouraging you to do instead. And you will be able to eventually choose the heart despite the mind's cloudiness, because you'll have learned the difference through experience. Yes, it's taking place. It is taking place. It isn't something that is coming. It's happening. So it doesn't always look like that, does it? There is chaos in many parts of your world. And healing happens through grand release oftentimes. Oftentimes, the symptoms get worse before they get better. All of these patterns that lead people to behave in ways that cause them stress, anxiety, and fear were already within humans before. And now there's simply an acceleration. There are more and more of you all the time. There are newer and newer technologies and newer energies all the time. There are actually waves of light flooding into your planet, and they are causing the patterns that have always been there to get grander, and the consequences of them to get worse for those who are choosing that. And while you will continue to witness the manifestations of old toxic beliefs as they present themselves through the many limiting structures in your society, you will also see many others who are learning how to come back into the heart and choose what their heart inspires them to do instead. And you are part of that shift For as you apply this in your own life, you will raise your frequency, and high frequency energy will exude from your being. It will magnetically pull others into following their own heart. It won't be mimicking your path. It will simply be recognizing that you are autonomously choosing what brings you to feel love. And that will bring them to question what makes them feel love. This will bring about the greatest healing. But yes, there is already new consciousness being birthed, but it is purging the old limiting consciousness. Just as when you experience high states of love, you get more awareness of the parts of you that are still resisting love or unable to accept love.
How do I learn to accept love?
Do you realize you are love? Are you asking about accepting love from source or accepting love from another being?
Isn't love love?
Well, love is love, yes. Love is essentially who you are. It is the fabric of reality. Source created this particular universe with the intention of unconditional love, and therefore everything is made out of love. It is your true nature. Though others can open themselves to you and express that love through words or actions, and it can feel intense if you have negative beliefs about connecting with other people, though other people don't have that same challenge. Their challenge might be to experience Source's love, because Source's love often comes with a grander psychic opening where it starts to show you hidden aspects of reality, unseen realms, and connects you with the consciousness that is always around you. Everything is made of love, so everything is conscious as well. The rocks, the trees, the crystals, even objects like chairs and cups around you are all made of consciousness, and they receive the energy that you exude. And as you open to greater and greater love, you will feel that everything around you is conscious. And you can receive love from it, yes. Though you have to first accept that you yourself are Source, and there could be no one and nothing that is not Source.
How do you grow more authentic in your expression?
It's about looking at the beliefs about who you should be. What causes you to be inauthentic is believing that you have to change who you are fundamentally in order to be acceptable. So once you make yourself aware of what your beliefs about valid human behavior are and the ways that you yourself are missing the mark, the process of deconstructing those beliefs will help you to let your heart's passion naturally express through you. Again, this formula of enacting your heart's passion is about what you're passionate about, but it's also about the way you're passionate about it. You may be somebody who is informal, less serious. That might be what calls to you. Yet you may be in a culture that asks you to be rigid and formal and structured all the time. So finding your authenticity could be, how do you bring a more innocent, free-flowing joy into spaces in which there's a different energy? Or it could be the total opposite. It's up to you to assess what beliefs and narratives are running about what is right and why you might not be right.
Can you tell me about the darkest corners of humanity?
Well, why do you want to know?
I want to know how much light there is.
How much light there is?
If the light is getting in.
The light is reaching everybody, though some who choose darkness are avoiding that light. And they do this often because that is the way that they are brought in. They are born into it, and that is what they know. They are trained to see that shadows and being hidden and taking energy indirectly from others is better for them. We don't necessarily want to speak too much about them because we don't want you to fear them. What we want you to know is that there's actually no fundamental difference. Everyone is made of the same energy. And what unites you all is the fact that everybody is doing exactly what they believe they need to do to experience wellness. Those who choose darkness have very distorted ideas, beliefs, and understandings that make that path seem for them like the correct path. They are not evil because evil is a concept. You can choose to use that concept, and for many of you it is useful, though it is ultimately just a concept.
So would you say cruelty doesn't exist, or does it exist?
Cruelty exists, yes. Though evil is a definition of that cruelty. If you understand that someone who is cruel is also cruel to themselves, that cruelty is more of their attitude of how to receive energy, you'll understand that they're only doing what they're programmed to do, and they don't yet have the consciousness to undo that programming. So by being open and unconditional with your love, you set the clearest example of somebody who is able to see their programming and start to tinker with it, to undo the negative aspects of it.
Can you tell me a little bit more about growing your love? How I grow my own?
The more that you stay in a state of love, the more that love will expand. So you have to continuously choose the things that you love the very most. If there's something that you would love to do that you're not doing, you have to bring focus into it. You have to look at the desires in yourself that you are not exploring. If it's a desire that you don't feel comfortable with, you have to take that same desire and look at what might a higher vibrational aspect of that desire be. What's a way that you can fulfill that desire without doing things that are still taboo to you? The more that you choose to honor your heart's desires, the more that you will reach those higher states of love. And energy is always returning to a core point of vibration. In other words, your most predominant vibration will be what you return to when you do nothing at all. So if you continuously choose high frequency things, and then all of a sudden you return into total empty space without any focus at all, naturally your energy will rise into that high frequency. There's somebody who continuously chooses things that cause them anxiety and fear. When they have that same empty space around them, will drop into that lower vibration of fear. So your energy is, yes, elastic in a way, though it also fits to a form very quickly. Notice that every single time you're making a choice, you are shaping your vibrational reality. When you're choosing the higher frequency emotional attitude and action, you're forming yourself to naturally be able to slide back into that state of being. When you're choosing the lower frequency emotion or attitude, you're naturally forming yourself to shift right back into that frequency. So when you, again, apply this formula, over time it will be easier and easier to return to that higher frequency state. There will still be accidents there will still be loss, there will still be negative emotion and negative things that happen. But your ability to release and return back into that higher frequency energy will develop through this formula. A final question, perhaps?
How to navigate in chaos?
Well, the universe is in a way quite chaotic naturally. So, to navigate chaos is to accept the fundamental nature of things. Energy is constantly moving in between different states. There is a fixed state of energy, there is a shifting state of energy, and there is an amorphous state of energy. And your life is a continuous series of moving between these three different energy forms. The moving energy is the weakest, that is the chaotic energy, when you have to shift from one state of being or one place to another. And this state is also the one that allows you the greatest transformation. So when you see chaos as the force that allows you to release what doesn't serve you and take with you what will actually be of use, you can embrace chaos. Chaos is a teacher to allow you to know that your own focus is such a vital tool. If you can focus on what you'd like to focus upon despite outer distractions, you will find that you have an ability to not let circumstances lower your vibration. You'll practice that final part of the formula that is releasing all insistence on particular outcomes, greater and greater all of the time. Chaos is what helps you to truly detach. Chaos is what reminds you that you only have so much control. It's not that you don't have control, but what you have control of are your actions and your focus. And when you recognize that that's all you need to control and everything else you can simply let pass, you will find you're more resilient. So thank chaos as a teacher in strengthening you. All right. Will that be all?
One more question. What's the difference in development of people who do the very rigid, very devoted path of spirituality versus those who follow the highest excitement?
Well, we'll say that some people who choose a rigid path can still do it and follow their own excitement. For some people, that level of control and focus serves them because their core intention is to experience a deep level of mastery, to build a strong foundation and a way of being that is very structured. However, more people find this path because of their programmed beliefs about what it means to be successful. You are presented images that people can only be successful through this rigid level of self-discipline. And it is, in a sense, easier to achieve the sort of success that you've been trained to value more through that rigid and controlled means. But true happiness and inner emotional freedom is often much harder to attain through those rigid means. So, the rigid path, a controlled, focused path in that way, such as you see in some spiritual organizations or businesses, can serve if those individuals still know how to release and surrender when they have to. Though an open path of letting your heart guide you to choose what is most relevant for you is the foundation that anyone will benefit from, regardless of what structure or organization or religion they choose. If something that is presented to you or imposed upon you doesn't resonate with your own heart, you're not honoring your soul. Your soul came in with a unique code, as some of you say, a unique frequency, a unique energy unlike any other soul. And this existence has so much diversity because Source wanted to experience as many different perspectives as possible. Hence, all of you are completely different, and all of you are going to have very different experiences of the same thing. And so much of the pain in your world is the result of some individuals thinking that their way is much better than anybody else's way, or believing that if they had control over other people, they would be able to do the best for all. And this has led to so much pain, confusion, and inequality in your world and in other worlds. So, you can do it any way you'd like. Though your own heart's desires are really the most important thing. And if you cannot fit them into another system that you admire, you might have to find a fusion that takes the aspects of that system that do call to your heart and releases the aspects that doesn't. It is about making your own path, and you can be inspired by so many different paths. But in the end, it is about what is uniquely your own. All right.
I have one question.
Oh, okay. Yes, fine.
So I sometimes have difficulty between knowing between fear and intuition.
All right.
The question is how to get more connected to being certain about what is fear and what is intuition. Because sometimes we create out of fear.
Well, know that your passion won't guide you to something that is unsafe. Your anxiety guides you to something that is unsafe. Passion and anxiety are similar energies in a way that they are both exhilarating. Though you need to learn the difference between exhilarating and open, and exhilarating and contracted. Many people don't have the ability to distinguish between them, and that's where the confusion is.
Say it again. Contracted and
Exhilarated. So, simultaneously contracted yet exhilarated is the experience of anxiety. Your energy is on overdrive, yet at the same time you're trying to latch on and control and make sure that some things happen and some things don't. So, in order to get anxiety out of the way, you have to truly let go of anything that might go wrong. Open yourself to whatever loss or chaos you are fearing and accept that as a potential outcome. When the worst case scenario is also fine, you've conquered anxiety. The worst case scenario can only be fine if you know that within yourself you have all of the resources you need to be happy and whole. And that isn't to say you don't need other people and you don't need materials and substances and so on and so forth. It means that you have the resources to bring those things to yourself. So you have to learn how to trust and rely on that. You have to learn how to trust and rely on yourself. And then you'll be able to distinguish between this anxiety and this excitement. In a situation where you might feel an intuitive nudge away from something, ask yourself, am I being guided away from this because I don't like some aspect about it, something about it doesn't resonate with me? Or am I feeling resistance to this because it's making me get in touch with a negative belief and a negative perspective that I'm holding? If you can see that that thing is bringing you in touch with a negative belief or perspective that you're holding, then start to question what that is, and again, look to the opposite belief. Look to evidence for the opposite belief and unprogram your mind. This is often very helpful to do through journaling or through dialogue or through inner visualization processes. Everybody will have their own way of working with their negative beliefs and deconstructing them. Though, yes, the simplest answer to that is listen to what opens your heart, yet also soothes it. And make that choice. And simultaneously, note that something might disrupt you because of your own negative beliefs. If that's the case, look at them. Though always be open to letting your heart bring you back into a calm and centered place. Allow yourself to be okay with whatever happens. You are sometimes guided into situations that are there to trigger you. Your excitement can guide you into potentially triggering and disruptive and chaotic spaces. And you're not being misled, but you are being guided into a deeper release. You are being guided so that you confront your negative beliefs rather than let them trick you. When you are able to confront them, you are able to release them. And sometimes you need to learn lessons in order to go past the negative beliefs that have been programmed within you. So don't judge the seeming wrong decisions you made. Instead, ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me that I would not have been able to learn any other way? As we sense that sometimes you may be judging situations that you find yourself in as if you have done something wrong. But entertain the possibility. You did not do anything wrong. You just attracted a situation that allowed you to learn more about yourself. Does that help you?
It does help me, yes. I was more thinking it relatively to if I fear somebody has done something, like not in a choice, but I can relate it to that, to detach from the outcome.
So if you're fearing if somebody else is behaving in a negative way.
Yeah. Or if it's my intuition or if it's my fear.
Well,
Hard to control that.
it's hard to really say. Ask yourself, are you seeing that person through a lens through which you judge yourself as well?
Definitely, yeah.
Because that's often what's happening when there are instant negative projections. You have learned negative beliefs about yourself, that certain qualities make you wrong or bad. And whatever you don't like about yourself, you will instantly sense in other people. So you have to, yes, as has been said before, have that positive relationship with yourself, by cultivating healthy belief systems and self-loving attitudes to yourself. We say to some of you, look yourself in the mirror every single day and say, I love you, several times until you feel something. Doesn't have to be a good thing, but feel it. Flood yourself with love every day. We say it to some of you when we do one-to-one experiences with you, and we're saying it now to all of you because everyone could benefit from it. But some of you really need to do that. Some of you really need to feel what it's like to constantly surround yourself with love. Because when you start to do that, you will find that the people around you constantly surround you with love too. They're only behaving the same way that you set up the framework of your reality. Everything and everyone around you is adapting to your energy. And when you create a different energetic field and container for yourself, they will behave differently too. All right, we think that is quite well for today. We will now like to offer you the experience of a meditation, and then the channel will offer you the experience of a sound phenomena, journey, however you term it. We are not leaving when the channel returns. We and many other beings are here with you in this space, and if you open your imagination and open your heart to experience, you might allow some of this energy in, or you might let some of your energy go somewhere else. Everything is here and now. So all of the higher realms and all of the other planes and all of the other planets are here and now with you. There's only you and your mind in between you and everything else. So if you let go, you might experience a blending of realities right now. So you can sit, you can lay down, make yourself comfortable, and bring your awareness into your heart and take slow, deep breaths in and out. Continuously, without pausing, energizing your body with waves of energy and love. Picture from your heart roots of light like trunks of a tree that start to grow downwards through your abdomen and torso, out through your hips, out through the base of your spine, down to the tips of your toes and the soles of your feet. And see these roots of light going into the earth and starting to wrap around the roots of many other plants, weaving through the trees, dropping deeper and deeper, traveling through underground rivers, underground veins of lava, mineral deposits, oil reserves. See the roots growing down deeper and deeper to the molten earth. Depth, heat, pressure, down to the solid core crystal of the planet. Feel this place is reverberating in energy. This vibration is traveling up through all of the layers of the earth. Feel this vibration entering your body through your back, through your feet, and your seat. Visualize the energy from the deep core of the earth, traveling rapidly up through your roots and filling your whole body with deep earth energy. You can visualize this energy in any color you like. Many of you will find the earth energy resonates with the colors red, brown, or black. Though you might have your own color. Again, adapt any and all of this to your own preferences and intuitive guidances. And as this earth energy fills your body, feel it coming all the way to the crown of your head. Feel yourself against the earth. Note that the earth is rotating thousands of miles a second. You're rotating. Not only you're rotating, you're spinning. This planet is moving around the sun. And the sun is moving around an even greater point, way out there. You are the Earth floating in space. Every moment, while you're seated in the same place, the Earth is in a different part of space. Every moment you wake up in the seeming same space, yet the whole planet has shifted and moved to a part of space it's never been in before. Picture around your body a brilliant column or pillar of energy that goes from that core center of the Earth all the way up to the center of the galaxy. Feel that through this pillar of light flows brilliant, crystalline light. You may experience this as clear light, white light, gold light, or your own color of preference. Imagine going out through this pillar of light, outside of your body, feeling yourself floating above your body and drifting further away. Picture yourself moving out beyond your moon, moving out, passing through your sun, feeling how the center radiates both light, but also cosmic energy that informs you. Travel out beyond your sun and picture many stars connected in a web of light to your sun. You may know them by names like Sirius, Alcyon, Maya, Arcturus, or other names. Picture this network of light. Picture yourself moving through it. Feel how this network sends information to the sun that informs you with its light. Follow this network all the way to the center of the galaxy. You may experience this galactic center as a supermassive black hole. It may appear as dark, though we invite you to go through it. Imagine moving through that black hole to its very center, to an infinitely small point. Smaller, much smaller than the point of a needle. Imagine penetrating it, piercing it, going through that very tiny place into an infinite field of light. Endless, formless light in all directions. This is the best expression of Source we can offer you. For Source is beyond words, beyond concepts, beyond what you can really visualize. This will get you as close as you can get here now. Imagine that light rapidly pouring now through that crystal column, like a shower or like a waterfall, that moves then into the crown of your head and sends Source's light through every cell of your body, mixing with the earth energy, feeling the energies blend together, unite, allowing you to feel both heavy and grounded and light and spacious. Still feeling yourself on this planet that is spinning and rotating and revolving. Picture all the stars above you, and now invite the ones that you feel the closest connection to enter into this space. Take what's out there and here. Just as there's lights above you in this space, imagine orbs of light containing the energy of these stars dancing above you. Imagine these orbs of light perhaps dancing into your body, moving through one of your chakras, moving out an energy blockage, or allowing a guide to come to meet you. Let the energy of everything that seems to be so far out there be experienced and expressed here and now within you. There is nowhere else but here and now. There is no other time than here and now. There's no one to be other than who you are here and now. All that could be and all that might be, all that has been and all that might have been, is here and now. Feel it inside you alive. Let your imagination continue to work as the channel returns and moves into the experience of using sound and vibration to communicate the subtle energy we've been transmitting this whole time. And hopefully you can let your guides carry you so that your own imagination and awareness fills in the gaps. You can let energies move and breathe within you. We thank you again for allowing us to share this time and space in your reality. It has been a wondrous gift to us. We now wish to allow you to enjoy the next gift, the sonic journey. Do enjoy, and know that we are always here with you.